We played them 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, but a lot has changed for both teams. The Eagles defense, which is still fantastic as it was 2 years ago, has undergone some major facelifts with their personnel. They have 8 new starters on that defense this year compared to what they had 2 years ago. And actually, I'm going to pull up the graphics I've made for this episode right now. So, yeah, we're looking at 2 years ago on the left and right now on the right. So the guys highlighted in green are the new additions to their defense. And it's a lot of new guys. That's a lot of new guys. But when you kind of look even deeper into this defense, looking at the numbers here, when you compare the 2 years, so I have the 2022 ranks on the left and the 2024 ranks on the right. While their pass rush is nowhere near as scary as it was back in 2022, when they led the league with 70 sacks. I remember that was everyone was talking about that. The Chiefs wouldn't be able to stop the pass rush. We did. Their defense by and large in a lot of metrics is a lot better than what it was outside of sacks. So, JD, when you look at these numbers from the 2022 to 2024, what stands out to you? What's one of the biggest things that kind of stands out to you from when you compare from 2 years ago to now? I mean, also what I think is also crazy, and kudos to the Eagles, for 2022, they were fantastic. 2023 was kind of like a kind of a weird year for them because they were kind of down in a lot of metrics defensively. They were one of the worst defensive teams last year. And then to go right away, Vic Fangio obviously had a lot to do with the change in that defense to now being one of the best in the league, if not, you can make the argument to say the best in the league. What stands out to you when you look at the kind of the metrics here when you look at the Eagles defense?
I think the two things that really stand out to me is points per game, okay, giving up, and stopping the rush. Those are the two ones that really jump out to me. And it's the same thing. The rules don't change. If you can't score, you don't win, right? They're doing a tremendous job of like being a defense that bends or don't break. We kind of seen that this entire year. I went back and watched quite a few films of the Eagles, who they were playing. I actually looked at and checked out the offenses they looked at. I'm gonna say this, Marcus. They haven't faced the offense like the Chiefs. They haven't. So, yeah, you can have these numbers come up in the way that they look, and it looks good on paper. But also, too, what's the competition you're going against, right? And the reason I say that is, and not taking away from the other teams that they went against. They went against a very talented Ravens team. They probably should have beat them, but obviously there's some problems, some fumbles and stuff like that they had, made some mistakes. But they've been kind of playing a really, really tough defensively. Nakobe Dean is not there for them, which changes. Braun is an incredible linebacker who does a great job, who's taken right there in the middle. That is now who's become kind of their man, just kind of doing everything. But also, too, they got a lot younger in the secondary. But we know that the Chiefs, the way they look right now, as far as like our offense, is totally different than it was earlier in the year, right? And our numbers are obviously a little skewed because we're just not the same team offensively. We're totally different offense now. So that's what makes the difference. And look, I'm not one to sit there and say, okay, because I completely disagree with this, that Patrick Mahomes is the MVP of the league. I disagree with that, okay? Surprised how he played the entire year. I don't think he's the MVP of the league at all, okay? He had a rough go at the very first of the season, and I think it should be based off of how they started the season to the very end and how guys played, okay? But he's the best quarterback for an entire team, and it's a team game. It's a team sport. My thing is we have the best team in football, bar none, up and down, left to right, however you want to look at it, try to measure it. We are. We got the best coaches in football, pure and simple. We have been to the big dance before. We've been there these past number of years, and we done won. We're looking for a three-peat now. So we know what it takes to win these games. We know. Now, not saying that the Eagles don't, because they've been very good. This is their 2 in the last 3 years being to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts is a little hurt right now. That's definitely gonna affect him a lot, because now he can't really do like the read option like he was. some of the games I've seen him run, now his knees bother him. He's not going to be, that's part of the element of the game that they're not going to be able to have. That changes things. And so how I look like defenses played against their offense, Spags got something for them, okay? So obviously we talked about, Patrick Mahomes, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy's a different guy. We got D-Hop, Travis Kelce. I don't think any team, Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, I don't think any team has had a bevy, a myriad of weapons like the Chiefs got. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. I think the only one you could get close to, you could say, well, Cooper Kupp, Robinson, and Puka Nacua and those guys and Warren. Yeah, great team. Tight end ain't there, right? Matthew Stafford is not as good as a Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't do the things Patrick Mahomes does. So our offensive line, too, is very good. So for us, it's all about the team, not to mention what our defense shows, right? Spags in our defense, defensive line, our linebackers, our corners and safeties, a team. We are a championship football team. So I think, man, with these numbers, putting these things out here, yeah, it looks good on paper. We can put every little stat up, and almost like what Gruden said, hey, you had all these numbers, put all the stats of what Josh Allen is. When it came down to it, they end up losing. Period. They beat us the first game, right? Well, what did they do for you in the playoffs? Now y'all going on, sitting on the couch, going to Cancun, getting on the yacht, and jet skis like everybody else, and going fishing. So now they got to sit there and watch us. So that's the reality. Now, we understand they got a very talented offense, okay? We know that. Jalen Hurts has one of the best backs in the league, if not the best back in the league. He's the best back in the league. He is. And Saquon Barkley. He has very good receiving core. And A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and now he got Dallas Goedert there as well. So we understand that, and a very talented offensive line. But I think our defense is up for the task. They really are. It lies in stopping that guy in the backfield, Saquon Barkley. You can't let him get going. You can't let him get going. So,
want to make some quick cash during the rest of the NFL playoffs? There's still time to embrace your inner underdog. Over the last 4 weeks, we have given 15 selections and have cashed on 13 of them, predicting higher or lower on multiple different player statistics. So we are ready to continue this heater into the conference championship and beyond. So if you've yet to download the Underdog app, do so now and get free cash. Click the link in the description or use promo code CHIEFCONCERNS, that's one word, to claim your free pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. It's conference championship weekend, so let's continue to keep the good vibes in 2025. I think it's just interesting here that we look at like kind of the numbers here from 2 years ago to now. How like they're number 8 in points per game. They were allowing 20 points. This year it's number 2 is 17.8 points per game. But yeah, the biggest thing that kind of jumps out to me is I remember, well, 2 things, right? One is looking at the amount of first-time guys are going to the Super Bowl, right? Because usually when a team just coming off a Super Bowl 2 years ago, you have a lot of guys who've already been there before, right? Like they guys who've already been to the big game, and it's like, okay, this is our chance to get redemption on what the Chiefs did to us 2 years ago. And when you look at it, it's like, you got a lot of young dudes in this team, which is it's a good thing, but it's also it's gonna be one of those things. You're gonna be a lot of young dudes playing against a team that's lived in the Super Bowl the last 6 years. So that's also right away. You got young bucks who I'm not saying all these guys aren't ready for the moment, but like going to the Super Bowl, it is kind of a starstruck thing for a lot of these guys. Whereas it's really not that big of a veteran presence on that defensive side of the ball, which is just interesting because you would think a team only in the Super Bowl 2 years ago would have more veteran presence, and really outside Darius Slay, it's all a bunch of young bucks on that squad.
Well, I think they really needed to do this. This is probably the direction they needed to go. And let us not forget, they beat us last year. Beat us at home. So they were trying to obviously look at the barometer being the Chiefs. That's what we're competing against. And so every team looks at that. And if you're not trying to comprise your roster with guys that compete against the Chiefs, then what are you doing? You're not just trying to compete against the Giants or the Dallas Cowboys. You're trying to compete against the best of the best. The best of the best has been the Kansas City Chiefs. As I keep reminding people, the Chiefs standard becomes the standard. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. It's not conjecture. That's a fact. And so with the wins that we've been doing, how we've been hitting people over the head year after year, we understand what the reality is, okay? The Chiefs are the best in the business at this moment in time, okay? Jim said it earlier. Everybody had their day and whatnot. It's happened to be the Chiefs' day. This is our era right now, okay? Love us or hate us, whatever it is you want to do, okay? This is our era right now, okay? I just ask everybody to sit back and just watch it. It's going to be a great game, but make no mistake about it. These Chiefs has been forged in the fire to make this thing happen. And they've been thinking about nothing but this. That's all they've been thinking about, is getting this 3-peat. It's all about winners. And when you have a young team like the Eagles, like you were talking about before, it's something very new to them. They're not war torn. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They haven't been, molded with those type of things. And so those things matter. When you sit there and watch it, Chris Jones, who's been there, 5 times, and sitting there telling like, hey, man, this is what you need to do. I seen a video, man, and Nico Remigio was sitting there talking about his very first punt return. Said he had some room to run, right? Catch it. He said, I'm trying to get my feet wet, right? Young guy goes into what your point is. He's like, man, I come on the sideline. Travis Kelce said, man, I ain't championship football. Woo! Come on. He's like, man. And he realized who was talking to him. He knew that right then and there. He's like, okay, they have a different standard about how you do things. They want you to go out there on the field and be great. It's about being great all the time. Not saying that everybody that comes out here that plays football don't want to be great, but there is a different standard that they have. Like, you got to play your best. You got to take your chances. You know why? Because there is no tomorrow. We can't think about it. Oh, okay, what's going to happen? Oh, well, we'll get them next time. No, it's not. There ain't no next time. It's now. You got to make everything happen now. Don't hold anything back. And so, let me calm down real quick. All right, because I'm over getting juiced up, baby.
Are you? This is Super Bowl preview, baby. This is how it's supposed to be.
Man, this is what this is all about, man. And this is what really pisses me off. It really reddened my buns a little bit. Okay, it's because everybody don't quite understand exactly what this means and what this team has been through and what they're all about. This is about them being building a legacy and a history in the NFL. Now becoming the greatest team in NFL history, because this is exactly what it becomes. Okay? Not the Patriots. They become a race now. I want everybody to understand exactly what's going on. Okay? Now all of a sudden, you got to write in the history books and everywhere else, the best team in football in the NFL has been the Kansas City Chiefs to only do it 3 times, a 3-peat. The Dolphins are always there. The Dolphins will always be there. Right? The Dolphins will always be there. As soon as the team gets beat, they pop champagne. You know why? Because nobody's breaking that record. They know that. Now the Chiefs got the opportunity to do it. We got that right there in our grasp, man. We got that right there in our grasp. So all these other people that sitting there talking about the refs and all that, man, y'all missed me with that. Y'all really have. And so, yeah, y'all want to sit there and heap praise upon the Patriots, even after all the controversy they had, the flake gate, the tuck rule, Belichick cheating, and all of that. Y'all was cool with that. Everybody was fine. Okay, when y'all talk about them, everybody has a twinkle in their eye. But then all of a sudden, the Chiefs are out here. The Chiefs this, and I'm tired of that. Man, like Trevorrow said, kick rocks. So crazy, man. Silly. Some silliness out here right now.
Plenty of it. Yeah. Well, it's also too, like, not only is it a 3-peat, right? And that's what we're talking about right now. But the way this team is, as soon as the confetti falls, you'll probably get an audio of Mahomes looking at Chris Jones like he did last year. We need to get 3. He's probably going to tell Chris Jones, I want 4. I want to go 4. They're going to be going for a 4-peat next year. That's how his team's built.
Absolutely. Why stop?
Yeah.
Why stop? Let's keep this thing going as long as we possibly can, because it's a rarity just to get to the game, to win a Super Bowl. Now we're talking about 3 in a row. Come on, baby. What we doing? What we talking about here? We don't need no help from the refs. We've been hitting people in the mouth from years. Past 5, we give them the business. That's what's happening. You know how you beat the Chiefs? Beat them. How about that? Okay? Stop crying for things. Beat them. That's what you do. You want the crown? You want to be at the mountaintop? You beat the ones that's on there right now. Knock off the champs. Okay? You do that. So.
Yeah. Well, Eagles have their hands full.
Yeah, they do.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.